All right, guys, we're going to review Unit 4. So Unit 4 was all about equations and inequalities, and on your semester exam, there's going to be 4 questions about this. The learning target is, I can solve and write equations and inequalities. So you should be filling this out along with the video. Some of the vocabulary, we have a variable. That's when they use a letter to replace numbers. Okay, so X, an example of that might be X, M, S, Q. Any letter can be used as the variable. A coefficient is, let's do the example first, when you have something like 3x or 7.5y, okay? So it is the number that multiplies the variable. And then the constants are just the numbers in the equation. And they're constants because they never change. There's no variable that's changing them. An inequality is when it's basically like an equation. So something like 3x is greater than 4. Or something like 2 minus 1 is less than 7, okay? The steps to solving the equations. So step 1, you would move the variables using inverse operations. Move the variables using inverse operations. So that's step 1. Step 2, move the constants using inverse operations. Step 3, divide by the coefficient, if you need to. If the coefficient is 1, then you don't have to divide by 1. And then the last step is use substitution to check. Okay, so let's do an example of that. So an example of that might be, here's my equation. Negative 7x plus 13 equals negative 7 minus 2x. Let's say that's our example, okay? You're going to go step by step every time. So step 1 is to move the variables using inverse operations. So I would do the opposite of negative 7 and do plus 7x. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So plus 7x. This cancels, and negative 2 plus 7 equals 5. Okay? Bring down everything you didn't use. And then you go to the next step. So the next step is move the constants using inverse operations. And so I would have to move the negative 7 because it's with the variables, and we want it to get it with the other constant. So opposite, plus 7, that cancels, and 13 plus 7 is 20. So 20 equals 5x. Then we're at the next step, divide by the coefficient. So the coefficient is 5, divide by 5, divide by 5, and 5 divided by 5 is 1, so 1x equals 4. So that's your answer, and then you're going to use substitution to check. So you're going to take 4 and put it back in the original problem. The original problem is negative 7. Substitute the x with the 4. Plus 13. And then the other side was negative 7 minus 2. And again, substitute the x with 4. And then when you solve that, you'll find that both sides equal negative 15. And as long as they're equal, then that means that you are correct. Now that you've worked out the problems on your own, we're going to check them. So first you want to write these models into an equation. So I see 2 x's, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 positives. On this side, there's 1 x and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positives. So that's your equation. 2x plus 9 equals x plus 5. Then you're going to follow your steps, moving the variables first. Minus x minus x. 2x minus 1x is 1x. Bring down. Move the constants. Cancels. 5 minus 9 is negative 4, so x equals negative 4. On to the next one. 3x plus 9 equals 4x plus 5. Again, move the variables, so 3x is smaller, so I'm going to choose to move that one. Minus 3x minus 3x. Bring down the 9, and that gives you 1x plus 5. Move the constant, minus 5, so x equals 4. Next one, we have 2x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 25 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, move the variables, minus 2x, bring down, move the constants. Oh Lord, my brain's not working yet. Okay. What does that equal? 17? Good Lord, this is why you need a calculator. Oh, yeah. Okay, divide by 4, x equals 4. Okay, and then this last one, 1, 2, 3, 4x minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 3x minus 1. Again, move the variables, minus 3x equals x, bring down, move the constants, x equals 4. Okay, so it looks like all of them equaled 4 except for that first one. Next one, it says the sum means add, 4 times a number, so that means 4x, and 3 is 55. Is means equals. Write an equation and solve it to find the number. So the sum of 4x and 3 is 55. So there's your equation. Then you're going to solve it. There's no variable over here, so you don't have to move the variable, so you get to go straight to moving the constant. So opposite, 55 minus 3 is 52. So 4x equals 52. Divide by 4, x equals 13. Next one, 12 times a number is 12x, is equal to 2 times the same number, so 2x plus 40. Write an equation and solve it to find the number. So we already have our equation going. 12x equals 2x plus 40. Now there's no constant on both sides, but there is a variable on both sides. So we have to move the 2x. 12 minus 2 is 10, and bring down the 40. And then the last step, divide by the coefficient. So divide by 10, and x equals 4. Next one, Jace wants to buy a new pair of shoes. He has saved $30 and earns adding $15 per A on his report card. Write an equation that can be used to determine the number of A's Jace needs to earn, and use the letter A for that, in order to buy the new shoes, which cost C dollars, okay? So he has $30, plus he's going to earn $15 per A to equal whatever the shoes cost. It doesn't ask you to solve, it just asks you to write the equation. And then the last one, Mrs. Moylan wants to get her lawn landscaped. The fees charged by 2 landscaping companies are shown in the table. What equation below shows when each company's charge will be the same? So when will they be equal? So company A is a $10 service fee plus $20 per hour, so that's my variable, 20x. And then $25 service fee plus 15 an hour, so that's 15x. So this is talking about 2x. This does not have per hour. 20x plus 10, that makes sense. 15x plus 25, that makes sense. This doesn't make sense because we're not subtracting it, so letter C is the answer.